Hello, everyone. Welcome back to DBDLeague. This is the Winter Circuit qualifying stage. So everyone here, it's very simple. Win the best of 5 and you're into the main stage. Earlier, right now before the break, we just saw Jinx take it 3-0 over Void. Had some pretty close games, but ultimately was able to just edge the team out just a little bit more, enough to make it to the main stage. I'm ssbkid. Now I'm joined by another fellow caster. We have BlueberryYum. How's it going? Are you ready for this next best of 5 that we have coming our way?
Hello, hello, hello. I am so ready. I think DML Billy just got me hyped up to no limits because I'm so glad that we'll be able to welcome Jinx into the main event, into the main stage of this event. So let's see how Affliction versus BomBom is going to go now in the next matchup. And I think we need to set the scene for this one immediately because we got some background information, guys, and one of the players of Affliction, Phantom to be exact, is the CEO of another tournament org, but on the opposing team, BomBom, we have a match staff of the said same org. So this is not only two teams against each other, it's also kind of like employee versus boss, if you will.
So if you lose, you get fired basically, or if you win, you're fired, right? Like if the boss loses, you just fire at this point. So it would be really funny, but for sure. And also, like you said, they're also both South American teams. So obviously there have been some crazy sets due to South American ping, but now we get to see all of them kind of just deal with it on their own terms, which will be really nice to deal with for sure. So I mean, I think that'll account for a little bit more of a tighter gameplay as opposed to these crazy hits through pallets, right? Because ping won't be as much of a factor as it would as if it was South American versus US or South American versus EU or anything like that.
Exactly, and it also means that we can somewhat compare them to each other because, well, Affliction is the team that's been around for longer. They've been founded in 2021 and they have been in the top 3 SA teams since then, and apparently were the only, or the first at least, SA team to beat Eternal. They won 17 tournaments, so they do have quite a track record. BomBom, on the other hand, they want to prove themselves from the last time they were here in DBDL, so they're also coming with some sort of experience. They also played third in a recent different tournament, and they are looking to improve their survivor gameplay. So I'm very curious to see how they might have prepared for the other team because I'm expecting these teams to know each other.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, it's going to come down to, it's really cool to see, sets like that because you feel like the way that they target, certain people first, they end up, you could tell that there is some knowledge and there's some like knowledge to the lore between each of those teams. So definitely something to note for sure. And it might also be why we see a few of these killers being picked into the sets. Obviously, there's a whole pick and ban process, right? But for the first set to start off with, we're just going, straight to the top of the tier list, going to get Nurse on DDS, which is going to be, very small map. Lots of mobility from the Nurse. Obviously, you can hide around pretty well, but I feel like Nurse might be doing some crazy stuff on that map, to say the very least.
Absolutely. It's picked by Affliction as well, and Affliction do have a strong nurse player on their own. Phantom is apparently known for his nurse. I'm assuming they're gonna pick him on Killer as well. Not like we see it already or anything. So I'm excited to see if he'll be able to live up to his reputation. On the other hand, we have a survivor team that now has to hold themselves accountable for everything they do against that nurse. What do you think? Any predictions for our first trial, let's say?
Yeah, I mean, if Phantom is actually, a well-versed nurse player, I mean, we've seen it time after time again. We've seen these like top nurse players end up doing some damage, right? Like we see, obviously, Nightlight, one of those nurses, obviously RAP, but not really because they just retired Laser's nurse as well when he was in Calamity. Like that was a set that only some of the upper echelon teams would pick against that team because they knew about how strong that nurse was. So I think that, you know, if you leave that open for affinity, if it's possible that you just really know how to play against nurse regardless. So I feel like it's gonna be a lot closer than what people think. But ultimately, you know, obviously Phenom a little bit more experienced with the nurse, ultimately could potentially take it. Albeit, you know, it'll probably come down to one generator difference. It'll come down to a few stages. It won't be something crazy, but you know, after that set, regardless, we're going to be going on to the next one, which will be Unknown on Father Campbell's Chapel, which will be really interesting to watch for sure. Unknown's a killer that I actually really enjoy watching as well. So I don't know what your take on the Unknown is, but definitely really fun to watch, to say the very least.
Well, absolutely. And I think looking at our schedule today, we're actually getting 10 different killers, if my counting is correct. If we would have had all those different sets, that's to be fair. So today we might get 8 different killers. I think that's really exciting. A lot of variety today.
Yeah, 100%. Obviously, for sets 3, and we'll keep this very quickly as we're getting ready to load up into the match. Outs to the staff working tirelessly. Obviously, like, you know, this was public earlier. We're a little understaffed today, so obviously the setup might take a little bit of time, but obviously, you know, you got us to kind of fill in for you guys. But shouts to them for being really efficient. So obviously, Unknown set 2. Set 3, we have the Oni. And if it goes further than that, we have a Leatherface on set 4. I'm really excited for that one. And if it goes to the tiebreaker, we do have the Dark Lord as well. But right now, for this first set, like we said earlier, we're going to get started with the nurse. And like you said, Phenom going to be killing a first right now on DDS. Going to be really exciting to see for sure.
And let's dive right in, going on the Hangman up on top. Let's look at the perks real quick. We've got Eruption, Corrupt, Pop Goes the Weasel, and Dying Light. Really nice setup. Let's see what they can make of it.
Yeah, I mean, Dying Light, one of those staples on Nurse, if you will, right? I feel like we see it on Nurse, we see it on like Blight. I mean, it just benefits the, you know, the S tiers really, really well. So, but Phenom already, you know, kind of traversing across to the side of the map, you know, against the Nurse on a small map like this. You probably want to just play it very slow. You don't want to get caught rotating away from the corrupt side of the gens to the non-corrupt side, which is why you see these survivors playing rather slowly. But now Phenom understands the pathing probably, and can probably tell when we see, you know, a survivor moving over. But when you miss a skill check, you know, that gives you plenty of information right there. So Phenom gonna start this first chase relatively soon here for sure. Already on to this other side of the map again, just like that. That's a free hit right there. And you see Badman's last breath, the undetectable right there. Just so you know, you're not caught rotating in a situation where you might just run head first into the nurse, especially right here when you break LOS. Are we gonna get the down right here? Yes, we will. Good start right there from Phenom for sure.
Down in the pellet though, is anyone coming to the rescue? Nope. For Yusuf, it's the first hook, and we're already going down into basement. Phenom wanting it all for their first hook. No gens coming out so far. I think this was a pretty quick down. Let's see if we can find one to interrupt, or if this is going to seal the fate for a first 1 or 2 gens. Depends. There we go, they doubled at least one, so that's important for the survivors of BomBom, who are once again looking to prove themselves.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, like you said, in a situation where you know, back against the wall, you gotta make some magic happen right here. Ends up getting the pallet drop, but no one home for the stun. Unfortunately, going to end up getting another pickup right here. And like you said, probably double stacking that gen, which is probably where Phenom was probably going to anyways. We finally see the unhook, but that nurse is coming right in front of you right about now if you're not careful. So, going to have to see what the ultimate game plan is right here. Paradox getting the rescue right here. Another survivor rotating over to the gen just to create some pressure, which is, you know, ultimately really smart. But I feel like because of the pace of the game and where Phenom was rotating to, we only saw one gen with real progress, and now we're ultimately now kind of to a screeching halt, because I'm pretty sure one of the survivors has to drop gen's progress to go get the rescue, and now we just see the ping pong from point A to point B, which is why Nurse is so strong. Phenom, very, very great start, continuing to show why he's one of the nurses to fear.
Absolute dominance right from the get-go. Phenom living up to his reputation about now. We only have one gen going And Affliction is setting up really, really nice. And the survivors have to be really careful to not get themselves snowballed. Nice way of thinking right there. Suspecting the survivor to be still close to the gen that has probably the most progress. Another skill check being missed, maybe? Wait, do we think that was another miss?
Yeah, potentially a miss. You know, it happens to the best of us good comp players, guys. So if you miss a skill check in your pubs, it's not the end of the
You're
world.
not alone.
Yeah, you're not alone. Like, some of the best players in the world do it as well. So, but also ultimately, like, maybe if you hear the heartbeat or if you hear the terror radius and you just get off the gen, you try to pre-run and a skill check pops up on accident, like, it's just really unlucky. So that's potentially something that we could have seen as well. But now this is down, and this is a tunnel out for sure. This is where the nurse truly shines, because you just wait out the timer, you make one correct guess, and that's gonna be more than enough, and that's gonna be the death onto Yusuf right there. Going to get the hook right here, gonna get the kill. Going to rotate all the way back to Paradox, but you know that someone was rotating over immediately to get this pickup, and just like that, we see it. So Paradox, another chance at life here, gonna get denied a hook right there for Phenom, but and a full reset to boot too. So you gotta think that they were probably, you know, that was a very quick reset, maybe a perk into play, or maybe depending on what was being used. I don't think it was a double reset, especially because that gen was continuing to make progress, and we see the scratch marks right here. So we love Blast Mine here, right?
I mean, a little bit of the funny tag, I guess. It still gets your survivors a bit more time to get away from the danger zone, so that's good. It did get this reset in time. Maybe they will make it from the rescue still being up. Now we have one survivor spotted though. Dante running away from Phenom, trying to make distance between himself and the killer, but Phenom now trying to spot the ones going back to the road gen. We did see a survivor running behind main. Let's see if he can spot him and pick up another chase.
Yeah, 100%. Looking to try. I mean, again, like, these nurses, they track so well, they can start chases very quickly. You know, so you know that they're ready to go. So obviously, Phenom probably going to start that relatively soon right here. Understanding that someone was around here working on that generator, obviously. So has 2 gens with eruption. So this is going to be a big slowdown if you get this down right here. Swing and a miss though. Dante, another chance at life, but how much more do you have left in the tank? There's only certain amount of mind games that you can do against the nurse before ultimately you just get walked down and you just killed right here. So yeah, just like that, tried to double back, but Phenom just playing very patient, understanding the severity of the situation there. So gonna get another hook. Lots of gen regression right there with that eruption too.
It's looking good for Phenom so far. I mean, at this point, if you're on the survivor side, you need to get these gens cranking. They are your first win condition. You need, well, at least 1 or 2 more out of the way. There we go. There's one. Another one to go. Paradox might be able to finish there, so that puts them in a way better position than they've been in previously. That could save the day for them. But still, it would be nice to even get maybe a 4th. I do not expect an out by now. Yusuf being out of the game is a huge disadvantage for them. But look at Gallo being sneaky and even quarterby. Jesus.
Plus 99 stealth, to say the very least, right there. Just ended up just avoiding the clutches of Phenom, like, very, very well. And like you said, not as bad of a situation. I mean, we saw those erupted gens, you know, get regressed. You know, and obviously, like, maybe Phenom thinks that those were the gens that were being worked on the most, but obviously, you know, Paradox was doing a really good job of working on a different gen all the way across map right there. And again, this is exactly what we saw earlier, and this was the downfall of Yusuf earlier. So Dante looking to follow suit right here. I mean, just one blink over and, you know, you kind of put in a really tough situation right here, and yeah, just like that, your only optimal choice here is to go as far away from the down survivor, the slug survivor, just so someone can rotate and pick up. That Mori gonna give you a little bit more time. Obviously, you know, it probably is better. You probably spend a little bit less time getting the Mori than picking up and going all the way to another hook. So, but yeah, just like that, Paradox already up, prioritizing the gens, understanding that we're not gonna get out. We're probably not even gonna finish all 5 gens. You know, just maybe just set up a 4K1, and you know, hopefully it's a good enough situation for our killer.
Now Galos shows has to be good enough to get more time out for Paradox to finish that gen, but we're edge map ending, trying to turn around, winning the 50-50 in the second one as well. One hit goes to the miss, but that's not too much to work around with. Now we're breaking a line of sight once more, so it makes it a bit harder for Fen, but Venom was seemingly calm, waiting to get a view of Gallo again and gets the down. Wow, what a gameplay, but look at that Paradox, that might be a fight to the finish line. Dying Light doing the trick, but he's gonna get that out. The heartbeat is in, but another gen goes on.
Yeah, I mean 4K1, you know, or 4K0 being, you know, being the win condition for the survivors, 4K2 being the win condition for the killer. Actually, pretty monumental that they were able to complete that fourth generator for sure. So I think a 4K2 condition would have been really difficult for these for the next killer. So I think that the fact that you can at least take this to you can tie this with a 4K1, which is I would say a pretty standard nurse result. I think that that's going to be a pretty good situation for the other killer when they come in to take on these survivors as well. So, but regardless, great stuff to Phenom. Obviously, you know, there was a lot of great chases, a lot of good micromanaging scenarios, especially when they would break LOS. You saw situations where, you know, Phenom just opted to walk you down until you had to rotate out and get right back into the LOS and the line of sight, which made it very easy for Phenom to just get those blinks and those downs. So very good stuff for sure. I mean, that was a really good start, you know, very hot start to the set that we have today for us.
I have to say, I think this might have been the try you've been most afraid of. So now you can maybe relax a little bit, see if your killer can get the same thing out of there. But Paradox has a last trick up his sleeve, trying to even get the save onto Gallo, get them both up standing again. But Paradox goes down. It's another quick chase for us. A little bit of undetectable for Venom. Of course, that's not going to do much right now. He's again patiently waiting for the right moment to hit those blinks, recharging it once again. Gallo making a bit more distance, but of course, I don't think that's going to do much. There's no way that last gen's gonna pop. Nice little dead. I waited it out though, so Gallo going down, and I think now, if you don't pick the D-Strike, which he's not going to do, it seems like this should mark the 4K finally.
Yeah, this should certainly be it at this point, but yeah, I mean, obviously the deliverance coming into play, but not able to do anything, and we saw the unbreakable as well. You know, probably used it earlier, which is probably why we didn't see it. We didn't see it be used right then and there. So, but yeah, I mean, really good stuff right here to Venom. Not being rattled, right? Especially when these survivors have these strikes up their sleeve. So. Yeah, I mean, that's going to be, I mean, 4K1, like we said, it was pretty good. It's a pretty good condition, like you said. You know, these survivors are probably a little bit nervous, a little bit hesitant going into this set, and the fact that you come out with this result, honestly, is against someone as good as Phenom is probably a win. Honestly, it's you know, might not objectively be a win, but like if you're a survivor against Phenom, you're probably feeling pretty good right now.
Absolutely. I mean, this is a very winnable win condition, if I may. So, even if these last two gens wouldn't have popped, and especially that last gen, which was a pretty close run, I think we would be looking at a very different result. But right here, right now, still a win condition. Let's see if the killer of Team BomBom can take it away and take us to a tie, or maybe win this set. We'll see that after a short break. And welcome back to That Dog Saloon, ladies and gentlemen. Immediately, we need to apologize for taking a bit longer with the match setup. There has been some incident because, as you can see, it's Gallo on the killer for Team BomBom. Unfortunately, that is because Dante was supposed to be playing killer and apparently their PC died. So we hope that they will be able to get him up and running again for the next Survivor trial. But for now, Gallo has to fill in, and so it's basically a survivor playing killer right now. Well, I guess it happens.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, we just, you know, obviously, like, you know, there's obviously like a grace period sometimes, but obviously with us being behind as well, and obviously, you know, the other team, if they want to just get a move on, you know, they don't have to like agree to, you know, just letting someone else sub in. But obviously, you're gonna see them try their best regardless. But yeah, this is still really unfortunate at the end of the day.
It's putting them in an even better underdog role, so it'd be even more impressive if they come out victorious. And Gal immediately spotting Kofulia on the edge map. He's trying to be an Anderson, isn't quite yet at the Mr. Anderson status, trying to avoid the next hit, but this one is going in. Gallo's got the first survivor injured, but Visera did have a lot of progress on the first gen, so that one might be coming out in time before we can get that hook out of the way, and there it is.
Yeah, gets that first down, but they also pop the generator for their troubles. I mean, Gallifake still, I mean, this is not the worst pacing in the world. Obviously, like, you know, still getting down, still getting hits. Now able to rotate over, and now it's going to come down to where to, right? Like, where are you going to rotate towards now? Obviously, you see Gustavo kind of hanging around. He might be the one that's rotating over slowly but surely to get this rescue, and it looks like that's exactly what's gonna happen. So I wonder if maybe we see a cutoff, or if we see a chase onto a different survivor. I think right now no one. I mean, Gallifake is kind of just holding on for dear life, but right here, gonna get the unhook. Yeah, I mean, that was a little unfortunate because normally I feel like we normally see. Wait, that was a. Well, that was a
speedy.
That was the craziest heal I've ever seen in my life. There's no way that there wasn't a perk or something that came into play there.
We'll make it just coming in clutch today, but like we know our nurses is going to be the 10th of a tunnel out. The next hit is coming in. Kofulia now has to get as much time out of the way for its team. There is more gens being worked on, but none of them at the half-point mark. They're just barely crossing it, but he managed to get some distance in between himself and Garo, but not for long. Another down coming in. The D-strike is on Gustavo, so there's no problem picking this one up and going for stage number 2.
Yeah, absolutely. Getting another stage right here, another fresh hook, another pop stack. So this is going to be a lot of gen progress being regressed right here. But as soon as I say that, popping yet another generator in the process. I mean, slowly but surely, we're coming along and actually getting some progress. We're getting a bunch of hook stages as well, but I feel like right now the survivors might have the upper hand right here, especially as we see the 4, which I'm not sure what that was. Was that something like for the people potentially?
It should have been for the people. I mean, trying to get Kofulia back on full health once again, because we know Gallo's one and only objective right now is getting that one survivor out of the way. Just a reminder for everyone, the win condition right now is the survivors getting 5 generators. Down forward, mark so for Gallo getting one survivor out early enough in the trial would be a beneficial position for him to be in, to try and protect the other 3 gens from popping. We do have a tunnel out. It's going to take him some time to reach that hook. I wonder how far those gens are.
Yeah, you gotta think, especially when you have your only like real slowdown is something like Eruption, in which you have to go manually kick, right? You're not running something like Pain Res that rewards you getting fresh hooks and getting, that you have to activate the perk, but you don't have to actually go kick the generator for it to work. So now that you have a perk like Eruption where you have to rotate over to these gens, and maybe you end up spending a couple more seconds here and there, rotating over to try to get that gen kicked so you can get Eruption started. But unfortunately, I mean, how much time does that end up buying you? A lot if you're the survivors, because they get yet another generator finish right here, overcome to break the line of sight, and now Gallifake has to make a huge guess right here, and yeah, it looks like you're just opting to just leave entirely.
Few survivors injured, yes, another gen pop, but for now you do have some pressure on those survivors. They need to reset, they need to put themselves in a safer position, because if you get a down now or even a hook, there is snowball potential. I think slugging might be your best friend in one of these situations. Gallo has a great setup here to maybe even win this one.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you have two people injured, and you have someone dead. So yeah, like you said, a slug could definitely prove to be do wonders right here. Especially when you can slug, and then the other person has to drop. One person has to drop. Doing the generators to come get the pickup, and if you're rotating towards that, and that's you're chasing someone else, and that's everyone not doing gens, which ultimately works out in your favor, and Nurse can win that war of attrition. But a little bit of a blink, a little bit too far on that blink, but opting to just walk down right here, get the down, and get another pop stack, but you know, and the rupture proccing as well. So going to continue to get these hooks right here, but I mean, again, are you resetting? Are you potentially working on another generator? That's exactly what they're going to be doing. So now this is where it's starting to slowly slip away from Gallo, especially with the deliverance right here. Yeah, that makes it much more difficult now.
Also brought the med kit, so no need to reset him. They can now focus on gens again. You can reset the other survivors. This was the best case scenario for these survivors, to have Gustavo be the one that goes on hook, because no one has to care for him. And in fact, he's now caring for one who's now back to full health, while with Sarah technically has enough time to go for another gen. There is still some time on the pop, but I doubt that we're gonna be able to use it. So we're just slowing down, getting everyone back to full health, and now focusing on these gens. And this last generator for Gallo, it cannot pop, so you better find the one they're working on.
Yeah, you make one mistake right here, you go to the wrong gen, and it could be enough for this team to get the last gen popped and meet the win condition and take, you know, the first set right here. And yeah, that's exactly what it looks like is going to happen. A little bit of a kick right here just to proc an early eruption. That way you don't have to come back and do it later. Because eventually, if you're pressuring enough generators at once, it ends up, you know, forcing the survivors to rotate to a different generator to start progress. But if they don't know that eruption is there, that's something that they can get caught by surprise ultimately. So gonna get the reset right here. Gustavo trying to complete it by himself. I don't think he has enough charges on the medkit to make it happen. Maybe he does. And yeah, gonna be just enough right there if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, I mean, this is where you know it can come down crashing and burning if you're Gallo. So you have to make sure you start and end the chase really quickly. You have Pop to go back to that one generator right here. One mind game here with no LOS could be enough to get something going. And yeah, I mean, just rotating over to get the hit right here, you are. But you know, how much more distance can you make? This isn't the overcome survivor as well, so you can actually close it off pretty well. But this is a situation where you kind of just have to guess accordingly. And yeah, just like that, you just get blinded one time, and that's enough for the survivors to make some distance and create more mind games here. Can we find a hit? How did you make it all the way over there?
And now you kind of have to leave this, I guess, because the gens are gonna be progressing. I don't know, not sure if you have enough time now. You got the eruption proc, however, and one survivor is close to you. This setup with these generators, both being on the street and one being on the main building, the survivors waited for Gustavo to be back to full health, so they had the best setup possible. Going for this chase for as long as he did was very risky. Now going for the slug, giving them as survivors a second objective to care for, having to pick up his air and getting him back to full health. They need to be really careful, because I think at this point, Gallo, he has to rely on these survivors making mistakes and getting caught off guard or getting caught half-life, because the generator setup is so out in the open, and he knows that. He knows they're working on the reset, so we're trying to spot them on that web as well.
Yeah, 100%. And now we start to run across this situation where the 3-gen is starting to break, especially with the entity not allowing you to kick the gen after maybe 1 or 2 more regressions, depending on how many we have actually seen so far. So this is going to come down to the war of attrition, like we talked about earlier. You know, in this situation, the survivors will ultimately win. So unless they make a huge mistake right here, but they're playing it relatively safe, they're not overcommitting, you know, they're slowly but surely getting that last gen progressed. Even if you get all these eruption hits, even if you get these downs, it's still slowly but surely happening. And Gustavo doing a really good job of just faking out the killer. And like you said, you can't overcommit, so then you just have to drop chase and go over to the gens.
I love the confidence, I love the patience, not running too far and just staying behind the safe wall, letting the killer do its thing. And you know, Gallo can't spend as much time in this gen, has been touched again, you need to kick it, and like you said, you don't got unlimited kicks anymore. DBD did put the rain on our killers there, so Gallo needs to find him, and he needs to get a 2-hit basically really quick for them to have more things to focus on. But even if you get it down, I don't think you have, by now you don't have the time to go for it. You will have to slug.
Yeah, 100%. Definitely not having enough time at that situation. So especially like we said, but when the gen gets blocked ultimately, yeah, you just have to get a slug. Yeah, you honestly need to I think whoever's doubling the gen, you need to ultimately you have to get the down, and then you also have to find the other survivor very quickly, and also try to get at least a hit on them, so they're, you know, so they're having to rotate out. They're having to play much more defensively. Yeah, like you said, like definitely gonna have to get slugs right here, and yeah, now you have to make a correct decision. You have to make a correct inference, and if you don't, that's gonna be it. And oh my God, this gen's gonna get done.
They're gonna stick out. Even if he ports there in time, he's gonna get hit only one survivor, the other one's gonna finish it, because this meets our win condition, and therefore set number 1 goes to Affliction.
Yeah, Affliction, you know, doing their due diligence, picking the nurse to start off with, knowing that Venom was going to give them a good win condition to meet, and the survivors would, you know, come in ultimately and do really well as well. So, I mean, this is what it comes down to at the end of the day. So, Gallowfake still playing rather valiantly and was still making a lot of really good decisions. Was actually having some pretty okay chases, but there were 1 or 2 where, unfortunately, those line of sight breaks can be enough to, you know, catch a nurse off guard, and that's exactly what happened. So yeah, like you said, Affinity gonna go up 1-0. Still lots of DBD to be played though, so we're gonna have to see how this ends up panning out for the next few sets for sure. I believe we have, I mean, like we said, we have a very diverse killer pool for today as well, so I think we're going to go on to Unknown for the next set. That's going to be really fun for sure.
It's also going to be BomBom's pick, so something they will be way more comfortable on. But I have to say, especially for Gallowfake, like you said, they played pretty well. I don't think they did the worst job at all, especially for someone who subbed in last second. They were not supposed to play Nurse right now. No, just a reminder, it was supposed to be done to playing Killer, but their PC died. I hope it's back up by now, by the way. We'll check how that one's going. But I do want to point out that Gallo did not do a bad job whatsoever. Right now, however, these last 2 survivors potentially getting out. That's another one for Affliction to mention. That's really nice.
Yeah, 100%. Like you said, Affliction not only met the win condition, but they also got stages out the gate. I mean, that was like maybe 5 stages, something like that. 6 stages, I believe, which is, you know, very, very solid in their own right. Obviously, like towards the end of the middle game, we had to see these chases with these slugs having occurred just to continue to put pressure. But yeah, I mean, a good result regardless of the survivors. Got the win, but not only that, got a statement win. So they were able to, you know, this gives them a lot of momentum going into set 2. So we're gonna see how that ends up panning out right after a short break. And we are back, my friends. We are here at Father Campbell's Chapel. Gallowfake running it with the Unknown right here. Going to try to make something happen after going down relatively close at first, you know, set 1, when trying to make some magic happen here with the Unknown. Very, very strong killer in their own right. Has a lot of things that, if you're not careful, you might be able, you know, you might be able to get crazy shots off of, you know, certain tiles, off of trees, right? Off of even cracks in a wall. So gonna have to see what Gallowfake is looking to cook right here. BlueberryYum, I'm excited to see what we see from the Unknown this set too.
Me and you both, especially now with the Grim Embrace coming into play as well, paired with the Ruin and the Eruption Corrupt also doing its thing. For now, though, it's all on Visera as he has to run Gallowfake for as long as possible. Nice try with the bubble through the wall, but we did not hit the survivor just yet, so we're going for another run through the Shaker. That's not ideal for our killer player Gallo, the team captain, subbing in on the killer side. At least it was for Nerd. We don't know if it was planned for him to play the Unknown, to be fair, so we don't know. Maybe he's an Unknown, maybe.
Yeah, it's possible that Gallo might be cooking something that we're not aware of for sure, but has a really good, really aggressive slowdown build as well. Obviously with the Eruption, the Ruin, the Group, like you said, obviously Corrupt, basically base kit and competitive. So, you know, we're gonna have to see what you can come up with right here, but unfortunately not able to get anything. This might be a pallet drop right here. That's exactly right, but oh my God, yeah. Sometimes the X doesn't bounce properly. and so it gives you weird bounces where you're trying to basically punish the survivor for dropping the pallet, but then sometimes you get these crazy bounces that end up not even panning out the way that you want, which is really unfortunate. You gotta even get a window for his troubles as well, and another pallet right here. So yeah, this is going to be the chase being delayed quite some time. The down potentially still on the way, but how much more can you do right here? Can you find anything? No, you're still able to hold forward, and man, this is really unlucky. And you have this window as well.
The Zeros W keep being on fire. The second gen coming out for his own team. This might be the down, but oh, it slips away. Another round of teleport coming in, but another window for the Zera. The third gen coming in. I was about to say the lack of generators up until now marks that there will be quite a lot popping in Gallo's face, and now we do need that down desperately. The pallets have been gone. Bloodlust coming in. Got a head on save. Gives him more distance. This is terrible.
Man, the coordination from this team, I mean, it was enough time. I feel like, if anything, you had plenty of time because of how long you were able to hold on to this chase through Sarah, that to the point where someone could rotate over to get that head-on stun to delay it even more right now. So even with Grim Embrace, you still got so much gem progress done. Can we find a flashlight or something? Yeah, I don't think you make it in time, but yes, you do. You get the pallet stun and the hook being denied even more now. And man, this is a very unfortunate way that this is starting to snowball in favor of the survivors. The killer can't seem to get this hook right here, even with the weakened state right here. Can you find a shot for the ages right here? No, you're unfortunately, able to hang on to the wall just a little bit more. And now a 50-50 could potentially be it right here. Sarah winning the 50-50 as well. The skill coming in the gameplay, and man, this is really rough to see for sure.
Well, by now you're not only versing the survivors, you're also versing your own inner demons, because this is going to go down on your mental. You need to keep it up in check and don't just, I don't know, suffocate from the thought of having 3 generators done. These survivors are starting to take hits. They're coming in with the head-on save. There's a 4th generator popping one, taking the hit, and these pellets have been gone. We've been in the same corner of the map for so long. It's been enough to 0 stage up until the 4th gen pop. Yes, there is a Taekwondo, but you do get some more distance, and now we're on the main building. Last generator popping. This might be the down back into the locker. This for sure. Excuse me, this for sure should be the down. If that wouldn't have been a hit through the pallet, I would have gone insane. I would have quit.
Oh my god, oh my god, that was almost the flashlight right there, and man, that's 3 stages. You're gonna 3 stages unknown. Are we gonna see like if they get greedy, like certainly we can get some more stages, but no, I think you just take the 3 and leave.
Listen, yeah, I've been impressed by Team Affliction in the previous trials, right? But this one, I'm at a loss for words. I love this. Not sure what I was watching in between, but I would think it was immaculate survivor gameplay.
Yeah, I mean, the way that they played everything to a T. They had communication. They had people slamming gens. I'm pretty sure 1 or 2 survivors didn't even get to see the killer the entire game because they were just on gens the whole time. We saw someone rotate in for the head-on to get the stun to delay that down, and we saw the pallet save to delay the hook. And we ended up getting a 3-stage match right there. So crazy win condition. We're gonna have to see what this killer has cooking for us after this break, though. But man, I need a breather. I'm sure some of you guys might too. So don't go anywhere. Stay tuned. We will be right back.
Dead by Daylight, friends and fanatics, I think we need to have a word with Direwolf, because apparently he upset the behavior gods. We had a no-fault restart because while loading in, we lost 1 survivor, so once again, we have to apologize for the longest setup time, and once again, I have to mention that this is mental warfare for Team BomBom, because not only do they have to play with someone who's not supposed to be the killer, well, they now even have to play with an emergency sub. They subbed in last minute. Roses isn't on the original roster, so let's see if he can find his place in the team and if Gallo can make a bit more time for his team.
Yeah, 100%. We're gonna have to see if Gallo has been trying to step up to play this killer role, but obviously the Survivor is probably what he specializes more in. So we're gonna have to see if he can hold chase against Demolisher, but we see Demolisher rotating over to Yusuf. Can we find potentially an orb right here? Yes, we will. And now you play the check spots enough to get... Oh, that's unlucky. That's going to be a tag right there. I was about to say check spots to the point... Oh my god, no. There's no way you're going to get 2-tapped right now. That looks like that's exactly what's going to happen. So unfortunate right there. Yusuf already going down. I mean, what a great start for Demolisher, though.
Yeah, for Demolisher, this is insane. And BomBom, this is going to be a hard one. I doubt that Demolisher is going to camp this one into second stage because our current win condition is going to be 4 stages. So ideally, you don't really care about Yusuf. You go for a second survivor and then just force that one into elimination and force the survivors to go for the rescue. And I think that's what we're witnessing. Let's see if we can at least bring one gen out of the way, but we are so close to the hook, so maybe Paradox is our next target.
Yeah, it's possible that Paradox might be the next target right here. I mean, we see, we see them trying to, you see those shots coming in from basically out of frame, trying to get something going. You see them trying to lock in contact to try to get potentially the their weakened status removed, but that's down onto Yusuf, and a stun right there gets the flashlight right here and gets rid of the weakened status. But at this point, probably just want to get you probably just want to go get the save right here, but you know that flashlight is being threatened, but as long as you turn over, it should be fine. Another stage right here for Yusuf.
No one's helping with the lifting, but one generator should be done, and we found the hex. So even more work here in favor of our survivors. Second stage coming in, and for now there would also still be a tie condition, because if you remember our win conditions, it goes generators, hooks, and then first hook. So if you get these 3 stages across multiple survivors, that will also already mark the win. So for Demolisher, you're not looking at the worst win condition.
Yeah, I was about to say Demolisher, definitely all you have to do is just just camp this person out, tunnel this person out, get one more down, and that should be more than enough to get the win condition right here. So very, very good stuff, to say the very least. Obviously his survivors have done a really good job to set up this really, really, really forgiving win condition, if you will. Already going to Gallo Fake, trying to get a UVX right here. No one home for it, though. We can get the rescue on the Yusuf, though, right in the nick of time, but there should be a free tag potentially right here for the people. Never mind, still down into the in track, but now able to potentially get a stun right here. No, but you have this big distance. You give Yusuf time to get away. You give Paradox time to get away. But how much longer? How much more distance can you get? Not much, because that UVX is coming in right here. And that should be a tag. That should be a down pretty soon right here.
One of the Paradox might be able to use, but if you pull that, you're gonna get the second tag, and that's what it is. And I believe this should already mark the win for them, because and that's why I was wondering why they went for that for the people play, because technically if Yusuf gets tunneled out and everyone else escapes, you're still looking at a tie condition, right? But if you now you have the 3 stages on the Paradox, who is another fresher, which counts as more than just the regular stages. If we were to come to a tie condition, they rescue Paradox and everyone escapes. They kind of seal their own fate by giving him Paradox in the Half-Life.
Yeah, you definitely might be right on. You might be onto something right there. But right now, I'm going to continue to get more chases. You see the walk to try to fake the pallet stun right there. Gallo Fake. I mean, it's in his name right there, but not able to get anything. To just TP away and continue to, just create this pressure onto these survivors. But yeah, I mean, this is really unfortunate right here, because like we said, this is the win condition right here, because it's 3 stages, but now it's too fresh. So obviously, they're just meeting that anyways at this point. So pretty much when it's all said and done, pretty much over. And now this is where the team comes up 2-0 and potentially has another set to look forward to. But yeah, this is pretty much it at this point. Confirms the stage was already past the win condition because of the 3rd tie condition or the tiebreaker condition. Yeah, I mean now, like we said earlier, it was really unfortunate. It was just a really well played Survivor side from Affliction, and now they're just in prime position to just continue to keep this momentum going into the third set. It might be a 3-0. I'm not gonna lie to you, so we're gonna have to see what we're looking for the set 3. But yeah, I mean when it's all said and done, 2-0 right now for Affliction. Definitely.
Affliction is presenting themselves from the best side possible. I mean, they've almost 0 stage last game. Yes, it wasn't the killer main, but still, the way they were using themselves, like they had the head-on play, they had someone else for the flashlight save. The team play was immaculate, and they honestly should be on cloud 9 right now because everything is going according to plan. On the other side, I really hope that we still get serious gameplay right now from BomBom. Just try to get as many survivors out of the gate. Try to get the best result possible for your team anyways, to get into that mental space of okay, we might not have had the best day, might have had one of the worst days in DBDLeague, but we could still get at least one set out of the way. And I hope they do, because set 4 could be the Bubba, and I would really like to see Bubba.
I'm not gonna lie to you, I would love to see Bubba also. Honestly, like that makes my soul very happy. But set 3 is actually an Affliction pick as well. So this is looking very looking a little, no pun intended, looking very dire for the other team right now. Affliction picking Oni on Greenville for set 3, so it's gonna be kind of crazy to say the very least. But
it's an unlucky chain of events. For now, we do have 4 generators done, so it's not looking too bad. We got enough stages. We do have our win condition stages on the top, on bottom left side of the screen now still, but this is not correct. We did already in fact meet the win condition, but Woozers right now, for being an emergency step, also bringing out the chase, some more time out for the team. I think the 5th gen is coming to pop. Okay, sir, no pokos, and the adrenaline popping in as well. Let's go.
Yeah, no pokos for sure. That adrenaline play is paramount for sure. I mean, this is still really good. This is still really good stages. We're gonna get out. So again, win condition was so tough to meet. Obviously, it was so tough to try to beat. But when it's all said and done, getting a bunch of stages out on Unknown is actually no small feat. Again, even though like it feels like it's just been domination from Affliction, BomBom has been playing well. They haven't been playing like badly. It hasn't been like a crazy amount of mistakes. It's just they're just getting better team right now, which is crazy to think about. Because obviously you see situations where teams are clearly making mistakes, but this is a situation where the other team is just playing that much better. It's kind of a treat to us.
Another treat for us. Some more coming in from the Unknown, who desperately needs a chiropractor, might I add. I have to say, just add, do not hold BomBom to the results of these games, because, like we've said, emergency sub, someone else is playing killer, they're having the worst day in DBDLeague possible, but for now, Team Affliction still presenting themselves from the best side possible. We have a 2-0, which means we are going into match point, and the match point is going to be an Oni set, and I am very excited for that. I think it's my second most favorite killer to watch, so without further ado, let's quickly go into a break.
Hello everyone, welcome back. We are in potentially set point right here for Affliction, going to come in with the Oni Demolisher coming back in. Phenom came in and did his job, and he has not seen the light of day ever since. So, Demolisher, it is up to him now. Won the second set for Affliction, now is looking to, make magic happen. Yet again, a head-on potentially right there, but the awareness to just know that was coming and to bait it out and get a free tag and free blood orbs.
First hit coming in that early on the Oni is goated as well. Demolisher just getting a blood bank right off the bat, just trying to get all of his resources for the fury of the Oni, turning around, trying to get him to vault the window and the parallel, maybe because you will indeed drop more blood vaulting those. And Fate waited out. Did he do the job?
Essentially trying to find something right there, but the blast spike coming in, you already know what it is. Hey, look, never feel bad, my friends, in your pub matches when you're getting, you know, destroyed by a Swift or whatever with like 5,000 hours. Don't feel bad about getting blast mine. Our comp killers get blast mine all the time, but now we see potentially, you know, we have the power ready to go, and I think we have a little bit of a bug right here as well with the progress right here with the dash, but I think we've already got it. We love the fact that you can use your power to help fix the bugs. I love this game. I love Demolisher for fixing this for us, but now we have Oni at full power, you know, dare I say, Rar XDing his way around the map, trying to find the survivor, trying to get this down in the flick, but no one home for it though. Yeah, going to opt to just go to the other side just to continue to add this pressure onto the gens.
Heaving rolls a gen pops, but so does Paradox. Going onto the ground, we did have a second survivor there, but we are going straight for the pickup. The was about to end as well, so there's no surprises here. However, Gallo still injured, so even more juice for our Oni to get back up. Yusuf almost finishing that gen. It's a bit too close to comfort to our Demolisher though. However, gens this time, not looking too bad.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, the fact that we saw two gens already get popped for one hook stage right there. So obviously, Gallowfake being hurt, still injured and not getting reset can prove to be a bit of an issue, because now Demolisher probably has a ton of free orbs around the map, which is exactly what you see right now. Just kind of traversing around trying to catch, and you can also use that as a good, yeah, you already have power again. And this is a really good way to track the survivors as well. You know Gallowfake's the only one injured, so you know that you could honestly just follow the orbs to try to find something right here. But someone's already right here, ducking through, able to get away and escape the clutches of a raging Oni right here, and still dropping the pallet and now rotating over. And you have another pallet right here. Yeah, don't get Pocos. Just be safe, pre-drop it. And now we get a rescue for that as well. So great awareness, good job holding chase right there from Yusuf.
Paradox already getting hit again now in the mending state, but there's no time to pause. Demolisher trying to get him out of the battle right away. So, the down is in the pallet though. We did have the head on our players. And the save is coming in, another round for Paradox.
Yeah, Paradox, another chance at life right there. Excellent stuff. I mean, doing a really good job of just, you know, being able to rotate over to a place where you can get this this stun, you can get this save. Might have been Gallowfake running in over from that side of the generator. So, and now we have to, now we have to make a big decision right here. We're gonna continue to kick these gens, you know, proc eruption, and maybe get the power yet again right here. So it looks like that's exactly what's gonna happen. But now you're rotating over. I mean, you got to think, is anyone around here? Chase hasn't started just yet, I believe, but yeah, now it starts right there. Gallowfake, yeah, definitely the one that was laying around trying to get the save. It gets stunned right there. Shout outs to my boy Q. Can we get this down right here though? I mean, you want to get the M1, get a hook, M2 over to another side of the map right now for sure.
Team captain on the run. Gens out of the way. 3. They already get finished. We do have a lot of progress on this one next to Shaq. We did spot another survivor on the double pallet. He's half-life though, so not too much use out of this. Fury, second one drop, not a safe pallet anymore. It does get redirected towards the pallet, so a bit more time out of the bad. Paradox on the run again. This would be the survivor to maybe get out. It would be a second stage, but this third the fourth gen is about to pop. Paradox on the down right next to the basement. I'm afraid we're gonna have some more gens popping.
Yeah, I think we might get both gens popping right now for sure. So obviously, like you said, we have the eruption kind of doing its work, but we see right now the hook onto the basement as well. So no pain res as well, especially because second hook. I'm not even sure if you got the pain res off of Paradox. So you know, it's just slowdown that you're not getting. But now we are in a situation where we could potentially see these survivors make a comeback right now on the survivor side of things, at the very least, playing very well. Looking like we might, based on their pacing, it looks like we will most likely get both gens popped. unless they make a really big mistake and Demolisher makes some crazy plays. Like right here, that's exactly what you need right there. Gets the down onto Wozes, and now you just got to target Paradox, and now the gen progress will come to a screeching halt. Oh my god, Adrenaline coming in though!
Paradox being saved. Scrap that. Never mind. Getting pulled out of a locker. Demolisher now picking him up a hug. We did not get one single Pain Rust proc, which might explain the pacing of our generators. Now Wolf's getting picked up right next to the basement. I don't think we're gonna get him out of the trial. These survivors are just going to leave, but honestly, it wasn't a bad trial. Unfortunately, get another 3 stages for the Oni, but besides that,
yeah, certainly not a bad trial. Was that 6 total, or was that 7? I think it was 6 or 7, if I'm not mistaken.
6.
Yeah, I mean that's that's solid. I think that's actually pretty good. So now it's going to come down to probably Gallowfake, who's going to be probably killing on his side of things, and it's going to come down to whether or not he can make some magic happen right now. But can we see that happen? We'll find out very shortly after a short break.
Match point for Affliction, and once again it's Gallo on the killer side for Team BomBom. Our win condition, the first one would be 6 stages across 3 survivors, or 7 stages across the board. Let's see if Gallowfake can make it. I believe. I'm a believer.
Yeah, I think that win condition that we saw the survivors, Gallo and the rest of his team, BomBom, low-key had a pretty good game against the Oni, so we're gonna have to see how it ends up panning out. And like you said, we talked about it off the air. If you can find this first hit early on, you might be able to get some power very early and then start snowballing towards your favor. But yeah, I mean, definitely possible. But Gustavo already looking to just play this very safely, delay the first hit as long as he can, and it looks to be working out in their favor. You gotta think 3 people on gen somewhere around. You'll see a gen pop pretty soon, and maybe 30 seconds or less now.
Dropping every pallet possible. Gustavo, however, was the survivor who previously was running Deliverance, so maybe this is a good sign for Gala. I'm not sure if he's running it again, but if so, that would be pretty nice. First gen, however, out of the way.
Yeah, and I love the fact that Gustavo is not overcomplicating the situation here. He's getting... This is going to be the hit, by the way, but I love the fact that he went towards mid-map and then decided to come back towards this side by the fountain where, you know, a lot of resources have been dropped, but he has been able to, regardless, maintain chase. But now, obviously, with the hit, the power is going to be coming pretty soon, so... You know, if you can get a mind game, you get this down, and then pop power and then go somewhere else to try to find someone unsuspecting. But it looks like he's not even going to be going for the down, just going to look for someone out of position. And just like that, 2 gens popped in 2 minutes through the corrupt intervention, which is crazy to say the least.
Let's see, we do spot some scratch marks, so maybe one survivor in a danger zone. We're going to pop that Fury. Gustavo's still injured, by the way, also dropping... the blood, checking the locker. It seems like the survivors vanished. Are we checking more lockers? I don't think so. We're gonna go back to the gents because they will have summed up some progress. Did we spot someone? Oh yes, we did.
We did. Good awareness right there from Gallowfake. Oh my god, right there, but what are you doing? I was about to say, you know, just like in point blank position right here. Can we get a pallet save though? No, not gonna get a pallet save. Right now, I think the survivors are just very adamant on just trying to pump through gens as much as possible, but this is gonna be a pain rest stack, potentially, depending on the pacing of the game. That's probably a lot of damage to the generator progression on one of these gens, but yeah, the one in main is the one that was affected the most. But now we have 3 generators with over 50% progress. This is actually insane.
Yeah, we need to pick up the pace. One already down from the hook again. I don't think you have time for the tunnel out. You do need the stages on a couple more survivors, but for now we are just trying to get some survivors, and by chasing our check, the other generators can just be completed without them getting interrupted. Gustavo trying to get as much time out of the way as possible, but there is the first gen popping. 2 to go. Gallo is surely feeling the pressure. The pallet goes out of the game, but Gustavo's still standing as a second one here to play around with. Also getting dropped, no stun, so not as much distance, but the 4th gen coming out. The next pallet, there's just a never-ending flow of pallets. The stun coming in, the blind as well. Gustavo running him like a king back towards check. There might be a window, but this could potentially be the down. But we've wasted so much time and the whole fury is gone.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and now it's just like very difficult to say at the very least. But now we're kind of in a situation where, you know, are they double? Yeah, they're double stacking the gen, I believe, and so that just makes it that much more difficult. But you do get a pain res right here, so you know, gonna go down to about 60%. So actually, not the worst thing in the world potentially here, but. I mean, just like that, though, you have to rotate over. You have to proc this eruption. You have to chase these survivors off the hook, and if not, it's going to not end well for you right now. I mean, Gallo Fake has, I believe, only 2 stages right now. So, I mean, it's going to come down to whether or not he can snowball. Has to make some big plays in order to make that happen here.
But honestly, he only needs to get 1 more survivor and camp him to death. No, actually, wait, you need 2. It's not even enough to get another survivor, because that would just be 5 stages. Never mind, there is still a lot to go for Gallo. We did spot someone else, but the gens have been so far progressed. You might even need his luck to get something out of the way. You have 4 survivors working on all of these 3 gens. This is not the best position to find yourself in. Gallo's still trying to fury back towards check, but look at Gustavo not going for the reset as well. 1 still half life, but these generators, I don't think you can stop them.
Yeah, I think it might be too little too late. I mean, Gustavo held chase so well for the first 2 minutes of the game. That was a 2-minute chase, by the way. So actually, we're a little bit under at the very least. So definitely really good stuff right here. But yeah, now we have full power. Can we find the hit and the eruption proccing? Just delaying the gents just a little bit, but how much longer will they actually delay? Will we still get a gen pop right here potentially? This is going to be 3 stages now with 2 fresh hooks, but the gen is so close to being done. No pain res too. There's nothing you can do to stop this gen. That's going to be the last one done. And now the job is very easy. If you escape with what you have right now, it is more than enough to meet the win condition. So we're going to have to see what these survivors end up cooking with, because you know the Oni, I mean, you're going to get the free rescue because the Oni knows that you have to go and hit these survivors. You have to go get these downs, and man, so much more. I mean, so much more to be played right now. What can Gallo do?
This is perfect. Get Vizera camping out. You meet the win condition, because it would be those 6 stages across 3 different survivors. If you get Vizera out of the game, if you manage to get that, and they already opened the gate, so the timer is ticking down, that could be the win. It's still in it for Gallo, but don't lose him now, buddy. Don't lose it. You need Vizera or Miato out. And we're going for the big mind game around main. That's such a ballsy play.
Oh man. This is so close. This is such a very important situation right here. I mean, like you said. Oh my god, he had BL. He's not even there anymore.
Oh no, the gate's right there, right? Right? Running away. We're going for the reset. This might not be over yet.
Yeah, one big mistake right here. One, you know, a couple more orbs, depending on where everyone is positioned. You could get the power, you could get the down right here. I mean, a tag right here could be everything, but you also know that there's not really, I mean, if you do get the M1 here and you don't get power off of it, this is really scary. If anything, the person who needs to be in the exit gate, like, you know, not doing anything, you know, very risky should be Miato, because it's the other person who's fresh, so, you know, you could get 3 stages off of them as well. So, like you said, Vizera is probably the target right now for Gallo, but can we find anything? Because, I mean, this is the timer. You're just holding them hostage. That's an extra 3 stages if they don't play their cards right.
And now we're going for hatch, possibly. Survivors might be leaving. We're going for the hatch offering. There's another pellet back here. No, we made our way towards the gate.
Body block!
There's no way you can't block that. That's him out of the gate. That's a 4 out and the win for Affliction. I can't. This was so close. It was so close for Gallo.
Yeah, it could not have been more close than it was at that moment. That was a very, very tense situation right there. It looked like the timer was going to be enough, but the body block was more than enough to get it going, in Affliction going to take it 3-0, 3-0, however you will. And that's going to be farewell to BomBom for when it comes to the Winter Circuit main stage. But Affliction had very strong, very dominant games for sure. But obviously, you know, we saw BomBom and, you know, in other situations, potentially they could have taken a few of those sets for sure. So Affliction, very strong in their own right, has some pretty strong players in Gustavo Phenom and even more players as well. So it'll be crazy to see how they end up doing on the main stage. But yeah, it's going to be 3-0 Affliction.
Yeah, welcome Affliction to our main stage, and once again, BomBom. They've lost their killer player along the way. Dante's PC just stopped working, said, nah, DBDL not today, and then we've had a emergency sub coming in. You had someone else playing killer, you almost get 0 stage, and then you need to play against a killer called the Demolisher. So everything possible could have went wrong. Don't hold them to the performance today. I have to say though, do hold them to what they tried to achieve, because they did not do as bad as they could have been with all of what's been happening. They did win their mental warfare, and they did present themselves in the best way possible with the given conditions today.